Unemployment remains low. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we have some good news. Unemployment is still very low, 3.5%. So let's go through this media release from the Bureau of Statistics. Are they going to rebrand to be called the Bureau as well? Oh boy. Anyway, so the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate remained at 3.5% in September 2022, according to data released yesterday by the ABS. Bjorn Jarvis, head of Labour Statistics at the ABS, said with employment increasing slightly by around 1,000 people and the number of unemployed increasing by 9,000, the unemployment rate rose by less than 0.1 percentage points, but remained at 3.5% in rounded terms. Still insanely low, guys. That's really low. There's a point where it's not going to get much lower. And, well, part of that is to do with people not wanting to work, honestly. People who don't need to work. The chads that can work 1 hour, maybe only 1 hour a month, and they happen to not be, that 1 hour they work wasn't within the survey period that was done by the ABS. Perhaps, guys. It's still good figures. This is good news. So, well, maybe people will watch the video. I'm going to bring up the Roy Morgan unemployment data, guys, because they use a different methodology to the ABS, and we generally want to see if they're in line. Okay, I found the latest data from Roy Morgan, and we have a look at it here. So this is from October, 10 days ago. Australian unemployment drops to 8.1%. Now, their unemployment numbers is usually roughly double the ABS figures. I'd honestly lean more towards the Roy Morgan numbers being correct, but they're still going down. They're still low. If you look here, the Roy Morgan unemployment rate is trending down, guys. ABS is generally, it's trending down as well. So this is good news. We want unemployment to be low. But the one thing I'm worried about here is the unemployment and underemployment. 9.4% at ABS and 18.6% at Roy Morgan. You'll remember back to the pandemic where they implemented schemes to get young people working. You want to avoid a large youth unemployment issue, because that can cause economic scarring, and that means people will have trouble getting right back into the workforce. So that's how you can justify age-based discrimination in funding methods. Because, well, honestly, if $100, if you, as someone who's, I think it was 30 years old or 35 years old, if you're 35 years old and you're not worth that $100 a week more than someone who's significantly younger just entering into the workforce, that's probably on you at that point. You got to kind of look at yourself and realize maybe I need to upskill and train. I know people don't like that. I don't like, people don't like getting blamed for taking individual responsibility for things. But come on, seriously, are you worth $100 more per week than when you were, a 20-something person? Bloody oath, you should be. If you're an old boomer like me, am I a boomer? I'm turning into one. Back in my day. So back to the article. Seasonally adjusted unemployment rate rose to 3.6% for women, up 0.1, and remained steady for men at 3.5. The participation rate in the study remained steady at 66.6% in seasonally adjusted terms, consistent with the relatively small change in employment and unemployment. This is an interesting thing to consider. How many people actually participate in the economy? Because you'll have people who step in and step out of their participation in the economy due to a multitude of different things. Often, when times get good, the unemployment rate will actually creep up a little bit as more people jump into the workforce, start looking for work, and start participating again. So that's a funny little situation that can occur. So the participation rate fell slightly for women, down 0.1 percentage point to 62.3%, and remained steady for men at 71%. So now, there you go. There's a difference in earnings right there. Because, well, more women are working in the home, raising the family. That's just how it is. If you have the luxury of actually being able to afford that and not having to work. Employment and hours worked. Seasonally adjusted employment increased by 1,000 people in September 22, which was less than the percentage increase in the population aged 15 and over at 0.08%. As a result, the employment to population ratio decreased slightly to 64.2%, but remained 1.8 percentage points higher than before the pandemic. It is important to remember that the 1,000 employed people is a net figure, the difference between two large numbers. While employment growth has slowed in recent months, there are still close to 500,000 people entering employment each month, around the same number leaving employment each month. In line with the relatively small net change in employment, seasonally adjusted hours worked decreased by 0.6 million hours in September, less than 0.1%. We can have a look here. Seasonally adjusted employment and hours worked. There you go. I mean, yeah. Some of the slowing in hours worked reflected a higher than usual number of people taking annual leave in September. This follows the past 2 Septembers when there were lower than usual numbers of people taking leave, given COVID-19 lockdowns and other restrictions, Mr. Yava said. So one could argue, and I would make that argument, that this shows you that life is returning to normal for a lot of us here in Australia. Low unemployment, people able to take holidays. Sure, people are changing jobs. Now let's hope, inflation creeps back down and wages start creeping up a little bit. Not too much to drive inflation. The number of people working fewer hours because they were sick was also higher than we usually see in September, but only around 14% higher. It is no longer around 2 to 3 times higher as it was in early 2022. I mean, there were some pretty nasty flus doing the round earlier in the year. That's our luck in our family. Coronavirus, world pandemic, and we get the flu. So here's the proportion of employed people who worked fewer than usual hours in September. And here's annual leave is light blue, own illness or injury, sick leave, and then no work, not enough work available, stood down for other reasons. So there you go. It's returning to normal, guys. We're going back to these levels. What's the purple one? Bad weather. Oh, bad weather. Yeah, well, yeah. Weather's been terrible here. I mean, it's raining right now as I'm recording this. Awesome. I really love the rain. It's stopping the people welding the steel under my house. Fantastic. So, underemployment, underutilization. The underemployment rate remained at 6% in seasonally adjusted terms. The underutilization rate, which combines the unemployment and underemployment rates, increased by 0.1 percentage points to 9.6% in seasonally adjusted terms. So, the ABS has resumed publishing trend estimates and reverted to using the standard concurrent seasonally adjusted method. Okay, so even the ABS is going back to normal, everyone. So let's have a bit of a talk about this one. There you go. 2 days, 2 good news articles I'm talking about. Yesterday, it was shipping costs are crashing down. Today, unemployment is remaining low. Now, this is good news, particularly for the Albanese government, still in power. They can claim, they'll reap the honeymoon benefit and then also continued low unemployment. Let's hope this remains this way. Unemployment remains low, so people who are having to deal with all of the challenges that are presented by increasing interest rates, higher inflation, and cost of living pressures can keep their jobs. I mean, that's really what you want. You want people to be able to keep working so they can just push through the challenges. Hopefully, guys. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. What are you seeing out there in employment? Who are you talking to? Is it flat out? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and HeiseSays International, for other topics that I discuss. And if you're a fan and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. Financially on YouTube or Patreon, using our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or AussieBroadband, buying our pocket squares or calling us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.